True believers, today we'll be taking a look at Marvel Crisis Protocol, an exciting tactical miniatures game where you take a hand-picked team of your favorite characters from across the Marvel multiverse, superheroes, supervillains, and everything in between, and pit them against a worthy team of your opponent's choosing. Play as your favorite superhero teams like the Avengers or X-Men, villain teams like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants or the Spider-Foes, or just mix them all together. Like the sound of having Captain America, Red Skull, Kingpin, and Ghost Rider team up against the combined mutant might of the X-Men and Brotherhood? Well, this is the place to do it. Now the rules are intuitive and easy to pick up, but it is by no means a simple game. It's a strategic and tactical game where your teams will fight to secure objectives and deny your opponents from having said objectives. Or you could just beat the other team so hard that they can't score any victory points. Anyway, that's enough beating around the bush. Let's get to learning Marvel Crisis Protocol. First off, we need to decide our missions for today's game. In each game of Crisis Protocol, there will be two objectives, a secure and an extraction. Now these are pseudo-randomly picked from decks that each player brings to the game, and as such today we have also pseudo-randomly generated the following two objectives: Riot Spark over Extremist 3.0 and Struggle for the Cube continues. Now let's follow the setup rules of the cards. There will be 4 Extremist consoles, known as Targets of Opportunity. These are static objectives that remain stationary on the field. And there will also be 5 Cosmic Cube Fragments. These are assets, objectives that can be picked up, carried around, and possibly dropped. Now there's a third type of objective as well, civilians, but we won't be using those today. Scoring for today's objectives is pretty simple too. Players score 1 victory point, or VP, for each objective secured or held by a character they control at the end of the turn. In Crisis Protocol, the first player to reach 16 points wins. It's pretty simple. Alright, we've set up the terrain and the objectives. Time to build our squads. Typically, each player prepares a roster of 10 characters and 8 team tactics cards, and after seeing the objectives, chooses a number of characters and cards to bring for the mission. Now for today we'll keep it simple and use fewer characters in the interest of time. So today what you'll be playing are the poster boys of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers. Or at least a few of them. You get Captain America, Iron Man and Black Widow. And I will be playing the team led by a prime specimen of humanity, who can do no wrong and has done no wrong, a hero no one could hate nor dislike, Star-Lord, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, just Star-Lord, Rocket and Groot. Okay, let's get to deploying our characters. We'll take turns deploying our characters one by one, starting with the player with priority. Let's just say I have priority, okay? So, I'll put my first character, Star-Lord, down within range 3 of my deployment edge. We use the template here to measure the range. Okay, I'll put him here. You can go ahead and put any of your characters where you like. Alright, let's skip over this for now. So, here's the deployment. Now, the first thing that happens in a turn is the power phase. All characters gain 1 power, so let's put a power token on each of their cards. And that's usually it for the power phase. See, I told you the rules were pretty easy. Now, the activation phase, where the meat of the action happens. Since I have priority, I'll go first and activate one of my characters. During a character's activation, they can make 2 actions from the following list: Move, Attack, Superpower, and Shake. We'll learn about these as we play through the activation phase, but for now, Star-Lord's first action is going to be moving up closer to one of these Cosmic Cube Fragments. Now looking at his character stat card, his movement is an M, so let's take the M movement tool, and let's take him from this end to that end. Note that you can stop him anywhere along the movement tool, but there's not much point right now. So before his next action, he's going to interact with the Cosmic Cube Fragment. He's going to use 1 power to pick up the Cosmic Cube. Now this will have some effects later on in the game, but we'll get to that later. For his second action, let's move him over to the Extremist console. Now this is a target of opportunity. It's a stationary objective, so we will have to try to contest for it and we score points at the end of the turn. Let's take Iron Man and move him up here. So note that characters usually need to spend movement to climb, but because Iron Man has flight, he doesn't give a crap. So let's put him on top of the dumpster, and that should put him within range of being able to use Repulsor Blast on Star-Lord. The range of the attack is 4, so let's check if Star-Lord's in range. So we use his template. Yup, he is. Now to make an attack, we need to expend a certain amount of power, shown here. But for this attack, the cost is 0, so we don't have to expend anything. Now the strength of it is 4, so we create a pool of 4 attack dice. Now let's take a look at Star-Lord's defenses. These 3 numbers over here are the various defenses he has against different types of damage. Physical, energy, and mystic. The Repulsor Blast attack is an energy type, so we create a pool of 3 defense dice for Star-Lord. Now before we start rolling these dice, let's quickly take a look at the dice and what the symbols on them mean. Now a critical, these usually count as successes, and they let you roll an additional dice. Wild, these also usually count as successes. Wilds can trigger special abilities depending on the attack. For example, pushing enemies away, or burning them, or poisoning them, that kind of thing. Now hit, there are 2 of these on the die. These count as successes when attacking, but not when defending. Now block, these count as successes when defending, but not attacking. Blank, they have no icon and have no effect, usually. And failure, these count as failures, and they can't be rerolled or modified. Alright, with that in mind, let's roll 4 dice for Iron Man and 3 dice for Star-Lord. So Iron Man has got 3 successes in his attack, 2 of which are wild dice. And Star-Lord has only got 1 success in his block. So the difference is 2, so he takes 2 damage from this attack. Now since we had a wild result in the attack roll, we trigger the push from the Repulsor Blast. In order to push someone away, first you tell them that you have feelings for you take this move template, you put it at a 90-degree angle, and then place it on the character that's to be pushed. Put it on Star-Lord such that the pivot point is on the line passing between the 2 characters, and make sure both sides of the 2 are touching the character's base. Now the pushed character is pushed back, and he can't cross either arm of the movement tool. Now the Repulsor Blast says he's pushed S back, so let's push Star-Lord here following the S movement template. In this game, taking damage actually inspires the characters to fight even harder. So taking 2 damage here means Star-Lord will also gain 2 power. And one of the effects of the Repulsor Blast is to gain power equal to the damage dealt. So Iron Man gains 2 power as well. Next up, Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. Groot, Groot. I am Groot. Groot. Okay, now it's your turn again. Captain America. Now let's have Captain America use his first action to move closer. Have him secure the Extremist console. And Groot is within range 4, so let's make a shield throw against him. So we roll 4 dice for the attack. That's pretty good. That is 3 successes. And since Groot's physical defense is 4, let's roll 4 dice for him, and that's 2 successes. So Groot receives 1 damage and 1 power. Alright, it's Rocket's turn. Let's just have him speedily come up and stand beside his friend Groot. Also, as you can see here, the movement tool actually has a pivot point which helps characters move around terrain should it be necessary. Alright, it's time for Black Widow to do her thing. Now she's got a movement of L, which makes her really good at running around and capturing objectives. So let's move her here to the Cosmic Fragment Cube and take it using 1 energy. She has it. And for her second action, let's have her move and secure the Extremist console. Yep, secured. And that's it for her activation, and it's the end of the turn. At the end of the turn, we go to the cleanup phase where victory points are scored. Now, characters that control fragment cubes will score 1 victory point each for their controller, as well as characters who are contesting the Extremist consoles. So remember, Black Widow was securing 1, Captain America was securing 1 as well, and Star-Lord got pushed away, so he doesn't secure 1. That makes a total of 2 victory points for me, the Guardians, and 3 victory points for you, the Avengers. Now, on to the next round. Okay, first things first, in the power phase, each character gains 1 power. And looking at the description on the mission card, each character holding a cube fragment takes 1 damage and gains 1 power as well, so let's add that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and activate Star-Lord again. Use the movement to bring him closer, so he's within range of Iron Man. Okay, so I'm gonna have him take cover behind the dumpster. So basically, in this game, cover is when you can draw a straight line between the bases of the characters, and it passes through the terrain feature. Now, Star-Lord is gonna go full auto, using 3 power, and rolling 7 dice. Nice, that's 3 wilds and 1 normal hit. Now Iron Man's energy defense is 3, so let's roll 3 dice. That is no successful blocks. Now he does however have the Invincible Iron Man Superpower, looking at the bottom of this character stat card. So superpowers come in 3 different varieties, which I'll go through briefly now. So this Invincible Iron Man Superpower is an innate superpower, which means it's on basically all the time. Another kind of superpower is an active superpower, which you have to usually spend energy in order to do during your activation. It's important to note that active superpowers don't actually take up your action unless they specifically say so. The last type is a reactive superpower, which triggers on certain events happening in game. So his superpower reduces the damage he takes by 1, so he'll take 3 damage and gain 3 energy from that. We also have 3 wiles from the attack roll, so we can apply 3 special conditions to Iron Man. Let's choose Bleed, Stun and Shock. You don't worry about what these mean, I'll tell you when they become relevant. Alright, it's Captain America's activation. Let's move him with the M movement template. And he's gonna try to use a strike on Rocket Raccoon. But hold up, Rocket's brought protection today, so his personal bodyguard Reactive Superpower can trigger now. He can use 0 power to have Groot become the target of the attack instead. So now Captain America is attacking Groot instead of Rocket. Okay, let's resolve the strike. That's 5 attack dice. Oh, that's 1 critical, so let's roll another dice. And oof, that's a failure, so it's just 2 successes. Now Groot's defense, physical defense is 4, so go ahead. That's 1 success, so Groot will take 1 damage, gain 1 energy, and so will Captain America. Okay, Groot is gonna strike back. His strength for the attack is also 5, so 5 attack dice. Okay, oops, can't see it, but there are 3 successes. Captain America's physical defense is 4, and that's 1 success, so 2 damage and 2 energy for Captain America, and 2 energy for Groot. Okay, so now Iron Man has got some special conditions: Bleed, Stun and Shock. Usually we can take 1 action to do the Shake action, which will remove 1 of these conditions. But Iron Man is gonna go do something cool this turn instead. Okay, let's move him quickly over here. Use 1 energy to pick up the Cosmic Cube Fragment. He's then going to use an active superpower, the Friday AI, which adds 2 dice to this next attack. It normally costs 3 power, but it only costs 2 because of Captain America's leadership ability, which is kind of like an innate superpower, but only for Avengers. And he's going to use a Team Tactics card, a Ricochet Blast. Now each Team Tactics card is different and represents different abilities and different combinations that teams will use to gain the upper hand in a fight. So this one is a Ricochet Blast, and Iron Man can team up with Captain America, each of them spending 2 power in order to perform this special attack. And during this attack, Iron Man can reroll any number of attack dice. Now let's see if we satisfy the conditions. Iron Man needs to be within 4 of Captain America, and Captain America needs to be within 4 of the target. Nice, now let's have Cap and Iron Man do a Ricochet Blast on Star-Lord. Here we should be rolling 7 dice, but remember we used the Friday AI, so we roll 9 dice. Also, Iron Man is suffering from the Shock condition, which subtracts 1 from his dice, so we have to roll 8 dice in total. Alright, that's 5 successes, one of which is a crit, so we can roll extra dice. And because of the effect of the Ricochet Blast, we can reroll 3 of those dice that weren't successes. Alright, 3 more successes for a total of 8. We really whooped Star-Lord. Okay, his energy defense is 3, let's roll 3 dice for Star-Lord, and not a single success. Okay, so he's supposed to take 8 damage, but however, the damage a character can take cannot exceed its stamina, which is this number over here. So he'll only take 3 and go to 6 damage. And since he's taken damage equal to his stamina, he'll become dazed. When a character becomes dazed, they will drop whatever objective they're holding, so he drops the cube fragment over here. Before ending his activation, Iron Man will use 1 power to interact and pick up the cube fragment that was dropped. And lastly, because he's suffering from the bleed condition, he's going to take 1 damage at the end of his activation. Okay, Rocket Raccoon is pissed off. He is gonna use a team tactic as well. He's gonna use Deadly Duel, so he can make up to 3 plasma rifle attacks without using his action, but each must target a different character. So Black Widow is too far away, she's just gonna attack Captain America and Iron Man, and after that he's gonna proceed to make 2 more attacks on Captain America. Let's just speed that up. And at the end of everything, Iron Man is dazed, Captain America is dazed, and Rocket Raccoon is up to 6 energy. Black Widow is not gonna risk moving away from the objective, so she's just gonna camp there for the turn and not do anything. So what happens to dazed characters at the end of the round? Basically, you remove all damage counters from them, remove all special conditions from them, and we flip over the card to the other side, from the healthy side to the injured side. Now you might notice that some characters gain abilities or gain superpowers by flipping over to the injured side, such as Iron Man and Captain America. Now Star-Lord is within range of the extremist console, however he is currently dazed, and dazed characters do not count towards contesting for objectives. Black Widow is still contesting the console, so that gives her 1 point, and Groot and Black Widow each have 1 Cosmic Cube Fight point, each of them getting 1 point as well. So at the end, the total victory points is Avengers leading with 5 points, and the Guardians of the Galaxy with 3 points. And that's about that. The first player to reach 16 points wins. And if any injured character receives damage equal to their stamina again, they are knocked out and they are removed from the game. The last thing I wanted to cover was throwing characters into each other and throwing terrain into characters and throwing characters into terrain, which is a really cool part about this game. It's quite unique. But that's all the time we have for today. We really overran the time. And if you want to find out more, you can see you in store at Gamersaurus Rex. And this is Jarrad signing out.